percent of the man. And from Swawana, that's the first one. And then the second one, let me say, we are encouraged to give willingly and not grudgingly. And Yeshua Bebre from the principles of stewardship. Na erena mi gidi se yeti asia eboa bebre na eto de bia na esan ekose ya hyede se o se kwesiada no yema nti eya eba nti se kwesiada se obi ba na se wenya physical cash se odebema odos yankopon do no bebre a it becomes like a burden say nipa kono ase watombra anase woni yankopon bo hye so se eyo command say or say kwesiada otunima na wontumi ama awo saa kwa ne so anti cheche mroka no mepe wo these two conflicting with.
Okay, measures questions nam say also, but maybe another can union also so with the last statement, you know, yes, it's a command. Ma o Christo ni bia say or sorry a Yakopon ede ama ye say na wotwum de di kan ye fa on sorry no say be bibi ede ama no e ka ade a Yakopon hwehwe sorry na ya ade Yakopon e hwehwe we don for say Yakopon e hwehwe or sorry enti that very Sunday no or sorry a o hwe ne say ye beba ha ye to ne bo mpa ye sa ne omani nyina ye nso edi bibi be ma no a ode ehia ye enti obi anso ntimi endi na wo say Yakopon anhwe ne so sa na wotwini mu enti etore bia na wotwu ahokyere timi ba there is no true about it but se wutimi nya sika bi eto se gari kra na udi sa very day na say day before no kra no a eche se esi wuye sa that well enti sequence kra na ka echira that shows how you say the still worship na sa woti ase a you will realize say onfa ni nyina mpo enspende wo oba kuna fona na ne ba say wu a Elijah ka say nkoye aduane it looks like bibia o se de okwa kodi no ne ba wu no but oba di timi squeeze sa de na aka na bi de ma odi for no e ma chi obeyesha. So if we understand it say I said the also yeah no matter how we think of ourselves we also think of the responsibility from God and he will do it. They touch on the say who be ma voluntarily na enye first day of the week. You see in Acts chapter 2 as I've no free say no ehun say na ahokyera ba anuanom no ti wona won saase ene adan omo japade bebe tonton bi na omo de ebegu asomafo ne na ase. Now the question is yehu Bible no anka a specific day potia omo de begu asomafo ne na ase and once am yehu da omo che no okay enti enye income se chinchina me wade bi be se me de boa ehiafo bi anan kofo mentwen atel na wotu de yika no obetimi hu anuanum bi a ono mo enim sa enkofo no na wafro mo de ama wo mo woman bi wa otimi yesa oso obetu kwan bi a munji siwe mufa omo mu di hia pa na ekunafo no mfa ma wo mo ebi kwa sa week no Sunday na ntu no antina o yesa but etieno no enye formal ade a church no shout to say the first one say responsibility say and no enye o say e was chinchina o de ba Wednesday and Friday enyumre name every wa ho ba ne de Onyankopon makwan e ma utimi yesa de name no say an organized ade a church ne nyina ne ye ne de Onyankopon it should be on the first day of the week meaning say you know expose more on the first Corinthians 16 we will be break say your other Bible passages are Yakopon Eshasa for no say ebia yenhwe osepaka na ibi yenye we but aben na yebetimi agigi sa sika na de akoye and we the only inference yenya e 1 Corinthians 16 na yehu say omogigi sika collectively as a church no mo de ko hwe sa anuanom no so we infer say yebetimi so use that same sika no ebi na de ahwe osepaka ni asiye dan aye enuoma bia e authorize ye say yemfa sika yenye no we infer from that 1 Corinthians 16.
Okay, what I say. It can also say giving is an act of worship. Okay, it's just as the Lord's Supper, the prayer, and all those, and in an act of worship. Now the controversy about giving, when to give. Now last week we came about authority. It will say Nema is now so I did a BB nyamesumu edi kan direct command say Awurade aka say na monye and afi ye apostolic example say apostles no omu etu anamon say na no mo ye no is an example to us because Awurade na ma omu ye enti no ye dey establish authority based on that any you can say necessary inference and they can now in the book of 1 Corinthians 16 Paul Emma yehu one aspect of the idea given a benevolence act to the saints eno enana ewo se ensorry no eboa ebra so bi ho akire wo na Paul ene Corinth for no ekasa no ene o kire wo se sene man sene Galatians afomu no mo so munye ne saa da na watwemu de di nkan now the necessary inference I refer no say because it is the Lord's day as Abrena asoni shiemu e practice most of the act of worship and it is Abrena and I had the necessary for them to meet and give. That was a command that Paul the Maya. Now when Paul said da na what you did kind means they supposed to give da na what you did kind. For that particular purpose, for the benevolence act. Now go to follow na omunye o prepare omo. And now Paul Esai ever catch almost 2 Corinthians chapter 9 unya bra na wakan or chese the correction for the sins no sabe repeat and over chon say na we dey do dan chinchim na do dan before so we so that no more but before so be kasa no say and so na can they have prepared themselves na me pese till you so on pese Macedonia for na be ba mo ho no be ba na mo prepare mo ho. The question is a baby na Macedonia for the ban mo abeso mo ba be gisa offering e dia ko Sunday because what ka catch mo 1 Corinthians say umu pepe omo na watchmu dey kan bia so when the Macedonians na wo ma waso mo beje offering no aba no when they will come and meet them on that particular Sunday so we can infer from there now we say the early church they were giving on Sunday. Of course 1 Corinthians 16 was talking about one aspect of the giving benevolence, but if the benevolence act of giving part was taken on Sunday, then that means the other aspect say they assurance edification evangelism should also be taken on Sunday. But just as Banales and on just apart from Sunday adewi apese odi enyame adwuma untimi emfanye ya be hie mu betimi bu okwa fe za na e wo mi efe no bibi box is here no ma no feel say welfare box so bibi apese uri shema you can put it in but say as ha it the reason apostles to yes and say the giving for the saints was supposed to be taken on Sunday, and Paul said and it's an apostolic example, and that's why we also give on Sunday.
Just to add a little to the reason why Yeshemu on the first day of the week we give. So who studied the book of Corinth? One of the things I will be when he said Paul wrote this book to address issues in the church of Corinth. A better example among other Christian churches in various localities on Bethesda Soyade Ediso. One of the phrases when you are studying the book of Corinth is say when you come together. It is a very important statement as you see in the book of Corinth. So we'll take note of. In chapter number 11, regarding the Lord's Supper, we use our phrase, when you come together. That means a practicer in your you see that regarding the spiritual gift or the man as Corinth, about the prophecy, the tongue speaking, and those things. Before say all the instructions in or you see our phrases when you come together. A practice and I say a practicer as they were supposed to adhere to. The same thing over in chapter number 6 now. Okonuti the same idea. And also so every day no so account say on the first day of the week you should lay aside something for the saints. The way so account just to note say Yeshemu on the first day of the week a practicer Paul appends to say as small for a Christopher no more than Montanidi.
Say in your balance also on my microphone.
My question is first one, the number two can preacherless contribution towards that. wokase de obesi uye bi ahokyere wo ho say ekwan so kra but preachers ni bi nso ebegyina ho mo say one cedi na wotwini mu nyina one cedi na wanya na odi abetum me ho no na wo nti say basa na obi di one cedi na e ban so a no offer because one cedi de obi be ga say do say won say ye hwesa but unsi ye nipa so that feeling and the one side na e be na dey
Ghana your minimum wage say obi be ye adwuma akatu edi kwan se da no de fe ne bad day bi obi abedo wafu e wo se e wo because ye hwe the economic crisis okay minim de eti aban bia one cedi note on print ne chain cedi note bia because eno na obakore ko su aje one cedi obi one cedi no you say as ya ni na coincidence so because etete of the use in the 81 ye that one cedi note no me ka say the work na enye say nipa ni ntimi fama but one cedi note no eno na we live on and okay the question is not say ye hear be about equity ye hear equality o judge the equality they are very wrong and then at times say the work dey be a preachers be ye say aden na wo to one cedi but be a truly no nipa na de onya sa na wo twini no equity de obetimi ayi e de ama onyankopon sa da na one cedi no but we also looking at the economic background and say one cedi no enne no de na etimi ye but what I say say o income e wo ho a through equity no o de ma one cedi na dia we have nothing wrong to comment about it but say no na lesser than the minimum wage and I say sika edemu ni nyina no obetime de wo ho atoso a na one cedi a ene no twe aso kakra okay enti no I won't talk much about it because nipa no unni said na otwene ko ebi wo kra kabi ne ba and I say sika ne here it can be weird cases which is understandable but se wo say no na otwene mo no depending on and then as a raise concerns or because and then we no one cedi no entimi enye bibia
kakra me person me de kan no so ne say wo hwe 1 Corinthians chapter 16 from verse number 1 to verse number 4 no so usua ni here there are about 4 P's over there say ye chimwa yeta use and one of the P's ya kan want some preparation. Oftentimes you mupi na elaki in preparation and then Friday and can ye monokrano ye na we should have a fair idea of what we will give on Sunday because so what she said the text in the can you see the word storing up as he may prosper say would see say the word ya domo and I say wenya so one of the key things that HSA na yedi hu dwuma ye say we have to prepare our giving. It oftentimes ebe do Saturday Sunday I feel na ye dream near ye the but if you are following the principle Toronto Ediama Monday Tuesday Wednesday Thursday Friday have you prospered? And it sometimes will be in his thinking from Monday all the way to Saturday you have prospered one cedi. It is possible, but say the preacher Alex Ekano, is this something that is the reality? Okay. The other thing I may make and say, in your number omudi enim ewa especially on giving no, omudu mediano is to draw our minds on the need for us what to give. They don't control how much individual you burden you bema. It is said that you preacher kayano. It is between you and God, your sincerity. Say truly, say one cedi na that day when like the widow, she gave all her all. Ebi also nyewa ni sa one cedi na we dem, we dey man. Onyankopon ebehwe sa adoye na wa ye no na we dem. We shall so amount. So in Pempino, let us pay more attention to our inner self, how true we are becoming to God. Say ye di ye hono kre ama onyankopon chen say nipa no edefed of fell say one for bian kawa why a bonny no. It should be an inner reflection of what or your relationship with God.
But that's it. So me can look at crack home. Me beka preachers me no be consensus on that. Now me some one church now preacher no. Or chaba giving a otibiba be about less be a who so ye o juma ye. No ka say who say yourself we Sunday be a utima 200 cedis. It your for to economy say there was one man who was car. The picture was like this man, I think somewhere 2014 baby. Also Timima 100 cities or so. If the man was forced to give 100 cities, okay. But as a man not obey to this one man, let's put it that one there. Recently one feature I can say member Buana mention giving our church. One of catch him say, giving one form. But our church in one teacher for your basis. Now, giving Sunday, na 300 cities and something. And what can say a question was a teacher for that? So at least if every teacher is giving 50 cities to you, teacher 6 will be about 50 cities, 300 cities. Yes. And no cranka, a pro average giving because average giving you 250. If teacher 6 will be about 50 cities, you can't say. 300 and also on there on one man and then 200 cities. It also a teacher into the quality teachers and they don't give. It will make a question on 200 become 500. Okay. And now offer Mason for I was a good Mason for no so much 20. Till you why a question at all. It will make a question you know. Now I expect a giving of 800 cities. Do you check 5 6 that is market women and farmers no. And we will say total so that 800. It was on Tiasia that you can say I saw more than a minimum and a kaka home. 80 there was a Tiasia said giving. There are a lot of things that a individual when it comes to giving, okay, we teach about giving and the benefit of giving and all those things, but individually, no, most of the work cannot be between you and God. And it's Paul. Paul didn't stress on amount. He was stressing on two things. Number one, how much you are prospered. Say First Corinthians 16. Number two, willing heart. Chapter 8, verse number 12. For if there is first a willing heart, a willing mind, it is acceptable according to what one has, not according to what he does not have. It's who na wunim de wo we so pa say na watwene mu nyina se wudi no kwam Yakobon a 1 cedi and the founds uche mu no so for because the asama preacher also e fancy etua tight eti omamu ijemudu eti say 1 cedi na wo dey ba that means say e tight a week no 10 cities na wo about life and what you do now, you move 10% about 1 cedi. And to be honest, what's any argument now? It makes sense. 1 cedi per day, that means a week now, 10 cities the far on them. You are not being truthful to God, okay? But like I'm saying, it's between you and God. And number 3, the okay preparation, chapter 9, verse number 5. Therefore, I thought it necessary to exhort the brethren to go to you ahead of time and prepare your generous gift beforehand. Eti adia baby am check give na can say giving yen to no Sunday. You see one way so we want so obema giving Sunday undi no kwa merade. And am mosi no ebedu na dia once in other count on now dia ba eti we feel say de unya ayan no but se be say no kwa na giving you don't give on Sunday. Paul stress here to help ready to give you all. It will say so much generosity start from ahead of time. Ahead of time is when probably from the beginning of the week. By the time you will be able to give well. After very very important. There are a lot of times and maybe the count you have to make sure say that won't deal with me principle me sika of form me first kana me the ma ehia for me fa sika of form fan kan sika ho now no me call bank me ba na 100 series of form and I'm share will be an home but me far we flew was also part of Ghana we send a man and it's very very important and you see it in the crime and was an ebe me can last time fight Saturday and you now there but Sunday me giving I ready me wanna obia or dimika bear 1 month FM say what for a crowd do Kumasi it was music and air bremen and there are some dance and your fabra ukutaka or the buyer and I'm seeing our body ever can't give you now or what I don't know. Okay, it is a principle nasia near Yanasa. I don't know they will be able to give. Okay, to you forget about preachers or like I say 1 CD anyway. The constant number is 1 CD and not 2 CD. The same argument, like I say 1 CD channel. We can play the same argument as 10 CDs in the shop. It is not about the Sikanagasa itself, but your willingness, your true heart, and the faithfulness are oh yeah, that's it.
But my second question. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 18 and Colossians chapter 3 verse 16. I wonder if first instrument things. But okay, but Colossians chapter 3 verse 16. Osimoma Kristo asem no ntina mu bebre. Mon church na mon kasanche mu ho nyansa nyina mu mon fasa ko so dwom ne ayeye nyom ne honhom mu nyom nto dwom del so wo mu kuma mu manyankopon del mu kuma mu no I think say it's personal or
question on that.
I think say that statement is personal. It's not say as a for share. The last time I was learning it, now I contemplate because I said there was some come and if you come to the Ephesians 1 so okay free verse 18 na mumbronsa if you say eno ne desakasakaba na mumonye ma nemu monyama wo honhom mumfa sanko ho dwom ne ayeye nyom ne honhom mu nyom nkasa nkyerem monto dwom na mommo sanko mu kuma mu emerade. So I think it's personal, like for me everyone say men to the yes and yes the church next year. So I want to be better so every day I'll be saying say instrument and this is what we are taking the test from. So I don't understand. My name is a multiple question.
Question personal the dance entire church no ebe use. Okay. Also the book of Ephesians no chapter 1 verse 2. Yenti Paul crat and ultra koma for. Okay. Or say ahotefo wo Ephesus. So he's talking about the church at Ephesus. And yeah, will be personal, any personal epistle say or Timothy and Philemon. Asafono. Abraba or say Omobo. Okay, and all can obviously Ephesians 5:19 and our church there so you can't take the text out of context say a personal idea say mina me to nyona me bo say gakuru makoma mu a eni kwan say a church ne say ye use instruments because passage now all kind of rule out you having the authority to bring instrumental music to God. Enti or shall say singing to one another or che every abeshia the duty or say a personal issue mean to you come a church and entire church. So we speak to one another and our church no more you bet me at psalms, hymns, spiritual songs. Ultimately to reggae and R&B because or say psalms, hymns and spiritual songs. And now to us what singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. It's a me to any je wo memu but onyankopon na me san de to nyom na kire no and nyom no me to no me nua e kan de a kire me so me kan de a kire no so it rules out solo ene kwa say there be entena ho ne ngofo bi mum nko a no omo no na enya ni je wo akomom no mo to nyom ne nche na yemu de ye nsere ana ye ni no ye nyina ye duty ye nyina na ye nyina na de ehu hyem enti enya me na me te wase wo be o kan say when I was all modern, say, "Oh, do be shame." Said, "There is some melody in your heart, no. Obe enjoy your brain. You know, you engaging in that act, no. Because obi wa yetu nyuma on to be. on participate, and therefore making that melody and are rejoicing in that heart no feel it. So idea there was a so that we'll get to the peak where we will enjoy the melody, but any personal directive at the entire congregation.
Just to add a little to that, say that the preacher kind, what kind? Ephesians chapter 1 verse number 2, it tells you book no baby address no echo is going to the church in Ephesus. However, we have books trauma individual that also talks about the church. What kind of book of Timothy? Paul addresses issues on the church. The same way in the book of Ephesians, you will address issues within the church and you will address issues for individuals. But the very verse now one can say will quote here. You can see verse number 19. Maybe I'm going to lay emphasis. Verse number 19. Or say speaking to one another. Okay. So the question is, where in our singing, at what point in time can we do that to speak to one another? Is it when you are individual? It can't happen that way. Or say speak, or say in your heart. Or say speaking to one another in your heart. Until as we practice that, as we sing, we are speaking to one another. So we take some of Yendumibia. One thing about songs are yet to our story say it is a song, it goes vertical and it goes horizontal. It's a vertical song. And then so that is where we speak to one another. Okay, so in that sense, it cannot be an individual affair. So this is a typical instructions Paul actual ama asafono concerning music. The music here is referring to one yet to our asafono ma ye de church ye ho. But what I say?
Kakra mpesa me de kan ho say you see if it be parallel passage, one of the parallel, it can be a parallel and then a copy. Okay, your passages are a parallel. Okay, Acts chapter 2 and then Acts chapter 3 there's a parallel statement the same as Ephesians and Colossians. Now Colossians, Ephesians say let the word of be filled with the spirit my own and some. Okay, now because speaking to one another. Two parallel passage, are they also sharing song? One to one another. It signifies congregational. Once you see one another, may other phrase and a Paul as I use the book of Corinth when you come together as a church, and also typically congregational. Speaking to one another, congregational. It's here Ephesians now. Speaking to one another. Okay, now Colossians, that verse 19 now. Colossians 16 now. Let the word of Christ dwell in you. In all, richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another. As I mean nowadays in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. It's the key word also often say one another nature say congregational. Okay. In your heart, and I confuse you. In your heart, is your heartfelt. For example, say I said you be I said my heartfelt condolence. Your heartfelt condolence, you don't keep that condolence in you, but you say to the person, say. As Maria teaches a mama, they mouth the heartfelt condolence, our voice out to Unipano. So that's here. So our heartfelt service in someone hymns and psalms and spiritual songs no eka. Asidanka o nyame nyamia oni yen wo. Within our heart no asidanka rade. Now we are speaking this to one another. To tell a brother, say, Asidan Ken Rad, also catch him, Asidan Ken Rade. Because that's what we, our heart, in our hearts now, you believe and I also believe. In your heart, which should confuse you. Everyone in your heart say, well, first now, no, Bible actually say it should be spoken. Okay, so speak. to one another. Eti the owa kuma mu na udidi no say asadanka Awurade o ne ma waye no. You speak it to me, I speak it to you. Congregational singing. That's what I say. So everything in the passage signifies congregational, not individual.
Okay, my last question.
What come you know? I think say, I also have a question. I also need the privilege say maybe sir my question is me follow Facebook here baby I'm kopa was missing idea hopa. Now me follow churches baby ni enuanu baby. The recent issue ewo say asafuno ejenkwa ana asafuno enjenkwa ebi say issue preacher ba kwa say asafuno enjenkwa ama I think say church no ne sinchen say preacher mini what timi enka ne bebre enti social media no Facebook titiro churches na the information ba no ase obi a topic yakwa say church ne genkwa na genkwa because abe issue da bontin enti minim say yemu bebre was hard out no so say aha no ye ka say asafo ne genkwa no sa na ti ana enti sa enti message say enuanum ebeboai
yo said you can say page be also hot debate also no say Christo the genkwa enya asafo no the genkwa okay but the concept is Bible ni mo no enema bebre a Onyankopon aka egenkwa okay esubo genkwa adom eje nkwa because me list ya menwie okay enti yenko center wa de ba ko peso say church ne genkwa no we yes awati ene enko kan say Christo na genkwa o center we no so nkwa awati because there are several passages yenkwa je enam neoma bebre so na eba okay enti in Acts 2 verse 47 they hu ye ne say Christo ji obi nkwa o de ne be kan asafo no eti asafo no ye wona Christo edi ka je won no de o ma be kan ho eti ye je won nkwa na de wa be kan so the church is the saved omo ya je omo nkwa enye say unya me kan church no wa na say church no order the enti the church na be je won nkwa no it is Christ who does the addition ono de o ba be kan ho eti ultimately no ye be ya no say Christo na ji obi nkwa o de ne be kan asafo no and also just asori na nye nkwa asori na je nkwa if he say Christo say oba asafo ni mu na oba wona wa keep you save no oba be for nso akọ eti oba na wa esu a wo say wo de tena asafo ni mu no wanya say esu no ana unni ho a onsa be hwehwe emeka ho ti obeje asafo no nkwa sa na wo say yeti ase I say obusa say light dey na my light unti ministry say yakoso mu nko a na ma Ghana light ana unti ministry say Greeko ene ma Ghana light ana say ECG obi a on the part a o play akoso mbo no na adwuma ne say o ten band ne supply electricity no adwuma no Greeko so be make sure say sa power na wa generate no on the be fa homamu aba na ECG adwuma so do so be rewura wo fie so obi a boa ewo se ubenya light wo fie ba akokora free mu a unya that is how we Onyankopon so ahye nkwaje no ye nkwaje no enam neoma bebre so na eba enam adom enam obruhu enam Kristo so enam edifo ne nsem o kan enam neoma bebre so na keka bom ma ye benya nkwaje enti sa debate no sie no there eni kwan say o debate ejina ba ko say Kristo na je nkwa ana asafo na je nkwa anawe because neoma bebre ene keka bom eje ne na wo say ma ye nuanom te ase they are downplaying the role of the church say asori no hu hia and then one debate and there page back so no say Christo ji obi ko den be kan asafo no nye local church eti se presby na Christo aje obi nko a obeti na akoka ho but you see he was talking about a universal sense a spiritual body a wu no obi a obo so wo ba bia na Christo je ne nko a den be ka asafo no the universal wu no but there was ko share local church di ne asafo no ko share mo obro no bi eti universal church no brono church ni wo mu dada bajo yeti ase ha that is how Christo ayen say disfellowship wa in a right way and a church never so disfellowship wa Christo you were free as afoni but in a right way in a church be first wa disfellowship wa you are still part of that spiritual church no universal sense no uka ho despite say church na disfellowship no Christo ni wu free sa ni mu ona waje wo kwa no na entire church no so Christo nko na wo authority ni say oyi kane aduane free church obi say ebia church we obro no we so no monka asafo no a meje ho kwa no. So it is very in depth. I was say ye nuano munya adaje na yete na se na yesua na yete ase yesa.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just encourage the person to read Ephesians chapter 5, verse number 22 all the way to 33. Clarify BBR. I don't know why people. I said last Wednesday, when we were trying to answer the question, say, so you bet me at the Bible as me baby say, Onyankopon ama a certain principle, basic principle. I'm sure say Church of Christ, Bible studies are there by ye titi and say what kind Bible as in be say on say wine ekasa or kasa chere wine they see entina. Those are the principles are say jituma next say they apply to the scriptures ye benya tronumu entiase ye. So what kind Ephesians chapter number 5 verse number 22 through to 33 now it gives you the relationship between Christ, his saving power, and the church, the role of the church. And say a preacher kind of answer na wobaba church ni munu ankasa no Christo has other rules and I say other practices that HI say nipa ye city e masa nyama no ansa na odo abeka asafo no. So the passage over there is very clear. There is no debate about the passage. Yeah.
Okay, bibi kakra person which sense it's so unfortunate that Church of Christ feature more. It's me come to that conclusion, but it's normal because in apostles time no nasa ade no ho send you no there were a whole lot of passages. I've done a book of Ephesians now. Paul gave about 12 reasons why you need Christ. Okay, 12 reasons why you need Christ in the book of Colossians. It's a fair Colossians book, you say the Christological book. You need Christ in your life. If you want to be saved, you need Christ. Then when you come to Ephesians and so on, and if I say a Christological, that means because of our church, and say there's no way you will be saved without the church. That's what Ephesians can. It's now in your chapter 5. Paul a lot of reasons now. Verse number 31, 30, no. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes it and cherishes it, just as the Lord does to the church. Also, being what time now, said Obi Adon na Oshesu Yero, Son of Christ, so Yama Asafono, Otwaswa. For we are members of his body, of his flesh and his own bone. It is that when they all come, so or see now, or the abdomen, or as the 2. Verse 47. So, we become members of the body of Christ in the church. And Paul become verse 31 say, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So the Bible can't say, or Bema Bejanana and Naja, or not Kobata, no one may have them Diaba, who say our phobia, and no one will be on Kunam, and I'm a in your motive on the buyer. Se pakenya les na neba sana wade tie Paul ebe chess ade oba se no say asem ya makanya nye literal awade wanse na make una ya awade bi. This is a great mystery. So as we say ye hintasem kese, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Was me come Christo any asafo no fam. What the Colossians say who hear Christo as when akwaje and we bet in efficiency here story as akwaje no say sorry ni Christo no they are indispensable. It can be indispensable like you can't take this and leave the other. So you can't say I have Christ but I sorry no me pack and kwaje o Christo but I sorry the nyankwa etimi nyankwa I sorry no it doesn't even make sense. And I'm like I said like far away and the other. They all need not save together. Without the church, Christ is not saving. Because he is the savior of the body. Or you are sorry, not so without the church, Christ would not save. But I said if the images of Christ's feature could have this argument, we can even call him for a debate. Let's sit down, let's discuss the scriptures, and I'm sure you will not be able to stand. Yeah.
Eda yenianum ase ani ye amode amayen enam chiro sem no so yɛmmerɛ no aso mmerɛ no kɔ ɛno nti no sɛ wowɔ asɛm bisa a yɛne nnuanom na ɛwɔ ha de biaa nti yɛpɔn koraa wobɛtumi abisa ɛberɛ biaa nnuanom ɛwɔ yɛn ntam asɛm bisa biaa yɛwɔ no yɛhu ɔmo a ɔmo ɛbɛboa yɛn ɛwɔ ano yie ɛwɔ kyerɛsɛm no mu yɛda nnuanom ase nyankopɔn nhyira mu ahoɔden a mahwere biaa wahyɛ mo anan mu yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ mobɛtena ase ɛde ama yɛn mɛsrɛ no yɛ nyinaa yɛasɔre agyina hɔ wɔberɛ a yɛbɛfiri aha akɔ no yɛbɛsrɛ yɛ nua lomote na wɔde yɛnim ɛwɔ mpaebɔ
yɛda wase ahyɛase ne awie nyame